Welcome to this week's Rise Above Noise, where each week I have the honor of shining a spotlight on somebody in our Rise Above Noise community who's making a real difference and helping others with their business growth. If we haven't met yet, let me introduce myself. I am Susan Finn. I'm a digital marketing strategist. The name of my business is Rise Above Noise, and for over 15 years, I've been working with transformation creators. That would be energy healers, light workers, coaches, creatives, teachers, and guiding them in their own personal roadmap with their digital marketing journey. And so that together we get to create your own system for showing up in a way that feels generous and feels in service so that you show up with consistency. And that way, people who are already looking for you can find you more easily. And then your business is going to grow with flow and ease. When you do marketing, you reach people. So today's guest is Donnie Boivin, CEO of Success Champion Network. And what he wants you to know is that he wants you to think like a CEO in your business, not an employee. It's important to know that if you're a coach, an energy worker, a teacher, a creative, you're a business owner with all of the things that comes with being a business owner. So how can you put things in place so that you get to be the CEO? How can you think differently so that your business grows and scales? And where can you find the support that you'll need in order to grow and scale your business? So you're going to enjoy this conversation. Donnie and I talk about this at pretty good length. I'm going to let you get right to it. So Thursday, and it's Rise Above Noise Spotlight Day. And as I do every week, I can't wait to introduce you to this week's guest. But first, I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that we're all on the same page. We're all on the same journey of what we're doing in Rise Above Noise and what I'm doing as your digital marketing guide so that we're on the same path. We know where we're going. We have our GPS set. In the Rise Above Noise system process, let's see, let's make sure that we're seeing this. Donnie, do you see a slide filling up?
I do.
All right, so the Rise Above Noise system process, it's 5 pillars to allow you, the business owners, to show up with intention, yes, but also to understand that there's not that big chaos. Rise Above Noise 5-pillar process or system or whatever you want to call it. It's really a GPS. It's when people think about digital marketing, first of all, often they have like an internal reaction like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to do it, or I feel like I don't want to be silly. I get that part. And the other thing that I understand all too clearly is that sometimes it feels like there are so many things. It's just, there's the website and there's analytics and there's Google My Business and social media and email marketing and contact relationship management and sales processes and all the things that you end up going to your computer for. And I know that it can feel chaotic. I know that it can feel like there's so many pieces up there. So when you know where you're going, when somebody can give you those GPS points, I'm hoping that it makes it a little bit more simpler. So in the Rise Above Noise process, the first thing is that you really need to be clear on what your core values are, your mission, who your ideal clients are, who you're speaking to, and actually what your non-negotiables are, which are even more important for setting boundaries. You want to have a way to create compelling content, yes, but have a way to create compelling content that spotlights you as the expert in your area, yes, but also in a way that feels easy to you. It feels like flow and it feels generous, because then you're going to want to keep doing it. If it's fun and if it's generous, you're going to want to keep doing it, and that's going to be the key to moving your business forward. You're also going to want to be able to share proof of concept, which is generally your testimonials. Case studies, told in a storytelling kind of way, are super effective as well. So that's the third pillar. The fourth, which I think we'll be talking about today with Donnie, is how do you create the systems? How do you create the processes? How do you organize yourself? How do you schedule your time so that you're not squandering your time and energy? And I've said this before, and I'll say it now. Your time and your energy are your only true currency. We can all go out and make money one way or another. But if you're wasting your time or you're sucking your energy away, trying to be something you're not, or trying to do the things that just don't align with who you are, it makes everything so much harder. And then the fifth, which is where I spend a lot of my time, is keeping in touch with the people who actually you meet. So that's a lot of what we do in Donnie's group is referrals and talking with people and who can you serve and finding out. But also with what I do, it's email marketing. And how do we bring other people into our pond so that we can feed them all the juicy stuff? And all of that is so that we get to do all the things in a way that feels like flow and generosity so that we can be of service to the people that we serve. I'm going to stop sharing there. And as hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have any questions on this at all, please go ahead and pop it into the chat or into the Facebook group. But in the meantime, I want to go ahead and introduce you to our friend Donnie. Donnie, I didn't ask you, how do you say your last name? I've heard
give it a go. I want to hear you try.
Boivin is what I say.
No, Boivin.
Oh, Boivin.
Yep.
Donnie Boivin. I'm glad that I asked. Donnie Boivin. And the name of Donnie's business is Success Champion. And here's his official bio. Donnie Boivin is an entrepreneur and serves as CEO and founder of Success Champions and Success Champion Networking. He is considered one of the leading global minds on sales, business development, and business growth. He has been described as the first person to make sales and business development relatable and human. He is a community builder at heart. He builds champions. And today he helps small business owners leverage sales and business development to grow and then scale their business through his global brand Success Champion Networking. So in addition to running multiple businesses, Donnie runs a full working farm. He did mention to me that I might hear his guinea hens today. And I mentioned to him, he might hear my little puppy making some noise. He also has German Shepherds. He runs a full working farm, goats, chickens, ducks, turkeys, geese. He has a podcast called Growth Mode, and it's ranking among the top podcasts. Check it out. 4-time best-selling author, soon to be 5th, and a highly sought after public speaker. How lucky am I to have Donnie with us today? And when I asked Donnie what his superpower is, he said that it is humanizing the sales process. Tell me more about humanizing the sales process, Donnie.
You're so awesome. Boy, that bio makes me sound like somebody pretty spectacular. So I'm digging that. So and Brad, I've got a bees swarming in my front yard right now, my crepe myrtles. But I'm in Texas, brother. So, growing up in sales, nobody taught me sales. I was put in a couple of roles where, I just had to figure it out. And the only information that was out there was the movies like Glengarry Glen Ross or, the Boiler Room and those type of things. And so I grew up in this get it done at all costs kind of sales mentality. You always be closing. And man, I've been talking about this a lot with my brother, actually, since he's been doing a lot to help out with the company. But, when you grow up in that environment of the world is yours for the taking, or all the money you need to make is in somebody else's pocket, it gets to this place where you can turn into a grease ball real quick, unintentionally. I mean, and you think winning is by closing the deals and winning the deals. And somewhere along the way, I just got tired of all the transactional business. I got tired of all the transactional sales. And I got tired of being the guy that I couldn't look in the freaking mirror and be proud of how I was carrying myself. So I started flipping my own script, going, there's got to be a better way to do this. And, the most amazing thing for me was once I started showing up as myself and being myself, sales got a lot easier. I don't want to say simple, but it got a lot easier. And I started building lifelong relationships and having some amazing conversations. And to this day, some of my best friends were clients. And now we do, family trips and vacations and things together. And it just changed everything from a transaction into, these relationships. And what I found is, like me, most people didn't choose to go into sales. We stumbled into it because we weren't really good at anything else. So here we are now, we're in sales. And I think a lot of people were just like me and actually did not know how to sell. And so trying to teach a humanized way to do that.
I love that. And so true that many of us don't. And even still, with the people that I am regularly in front of, they've started their business. Many of them are coaches or are energy workers, and they get their certifications and they're ready to, they have a deep passion for making a difference, for being transformation creators. But then you realize, oh, I'm a business owner. And you have to do the things, because especially at first, you don't have a team to help you, right? Like you're lucky when you get to that point where you can get your first BA, virtual assistant, or somebody helps you out, somebody professional helps you out versus hiring, somebody's kid to do some social media for you. So I think that's a big transition in thinking is I'm a coach, but I'm a business owner. So I need to, yes, market, which is what I help people with. But then to your point, now you've got to figure out where do the sales, how do you transition into sales?
Yeah, it's funny. I sit across from a lot of coaches and consultants. It just seems to fills my calendar a lot of days. And it's always funny to me how negative they look at sales in general. And, to take a bite off of Lori Seitz's phrase, they look at sales as a 4-letter word.
Mhm.
And, if you haven't listened to that amazing podcast, Lori puts out a hell of a podcast called Fine as a 4-letter word. But, you know, here's the thing. I don't care to what anybody says they do or how they carry themselves or what their business is or what their job is. You're a salesperson first. Everything else comes secondary. And you either embrace how to be a good salesperson, a genuine, trusting, authentic, real person that happens to have some amazing conversations that leads to somebody doing business with you, or get out of the game. Because if you're going to continue to look at sales as something that I'm just not good at, or you tell people that I just don't get this whole sales things, the more you say that, the more you're going to prove it. Sales is simply a conversation. It's a conversation that happens to have an outcome. And when you get into these amazing, perfect conversation, man, both people should walk away from that conversation feeling like they won, like it was an amazing, awesome learning experience. And the more you pour into others, the more you help people, the more you're going to find that people are going to do a lot more business with you. They're also going to tell other people to meet with you because of how amazing an experience it is. There's no tactics, there's no closing, there's no overcoming objections, there's no beating the crap out of people until they submit and give up. It's you deciding, is this the person I really want to work with? And spend more time disqualifying them from your services than you are trying to convince them to buy. Because if you convince somebody to buy, you manipulate somebody to buy, any of those type of things, you are going to bring on the most miserable freaking clients that you hate to work with, because they are going to be such high maintenance because they made a decision they knew they didn't want to, and now are stuck paying you. So they're just going to be miserable as hell, and you're going to catch the wrath.
That is really good advice. So I know that we were going to talk about today, so I think that this is probably a good jumping off point, is that yes, sales, yes, business. And I know you've talked about this and you had it recently as your posts. We can be a CEO or we can be an employee in our own, right? Like have a job. Like tell me tell me how you see those differently.
So an employee very simply thinks in how do I get this done, right? An employee is the person that, or as you work for others, if somebody says go do this, you go do, because if you don't, you get written up, you lose your job, you get fired, whatever else. A CEO never thinks, how do I do this? They think who can do this for me? And the biggest difference in that line of thinking is it changes up how you approach everything. Because if you're the only person in your business that can do it, you're creating a job and not a business, because you are not scalable. You as an individual are not scalable. So you have to think in who can get this done for me, who can handle this. And I know I'm hearing some of your people screaming at me right now, but I can't afford to hire. I can't afford to bring people on. How the heck do I do it? Barter, trade, freaking anything you can to get people to come in and help you. I mean, there's if you are genuine and you are truly helping people with whatever product and service that you're doing, you're going to find people that want to be around you, support you, and help you. Let them. Let them come from the wrong, and just make sure that they get some extra added value for helping you out. But, you know, most people, because A, they've never run a business before, B, they've never sold before, only thing they know is to plow through it and try and figure it out as they go, with never stepping back and figuring out what they're actually trying to accomplish. Employees think, man, if I can just get in front of the right people, I can grow this thing. Or employees think, why can't they just see the value and automatically just jump in and want to do what I have? A CEO goes, man, I've got to go see him. I got to get to him. I got to go find the conversations. I got to go be the face out there. The employee is, oh my God, I got to pay my bills. I've got to pay rent. A CEO goes, what's my next investment? Where am I spending that money? Where am I spending time? And it's really about the evolution of your own thought process and how you're showing up in the world. And most people don't even have a vision of where they're really going with their companies and business. I have this thing called the champion's vision, and the champion's vision is this massive thing you're trying to impact the world with that other people want to help you build. And, a prime example is when we launched Success Champion Networking, my wife looked at me and she said, well, why don't you become the guy that changes how the world networks? Why don't you fix what everybody hates about networking? And I went, crap, I can do that.
Yes.
And when I started telling people I'm going to change how the world networks, man, they started showing up and they wanted to be a part of that mission, and they wanted to come hang out with us. And it was a lot of fun to build. And you can see the results and everything that we're building and how fast, the whole network's growing. But outside of having their vision, they don't have their lanes. They don't know what's they're holding them in check as they're doing things. So we have a thing called champions codes, which are these codes that we live by. One of the codes is family first. One of the codes is don't be a dick. One of the codes is always be learning and teach others what you learn, because we don't believe in hoarding information. We give it all away because there's nothing I can teach you that's not on Google and YouTube. And when you start building these lanes, you have a massive vision, you have this champion code behind you. And we called it the code because it reminds me of the Knights back in the day when, their code actually meant something. And I just love the idea of having something that is greater than you, that other people want to come play with. And when you can package this all up into just a business and a community, people want to be around you. And sales really gets really, really easy when people already love what you do. They're already into your brand and they're already wanting to be a part of what you do. It's not even, doesn't even feel like a sales call anymore. And the other thing CEOs do, to put it in perspective, is CEOs never say things like, I'm busy, I don't have enough hours in the day, right? CEOs, they run their business, their time on a very strict schedule. They time blocked a crap. I mean, like if you saw my calendar, it looks like Rainbow Bright puked all over it, because every activity is color coded, everything is time blocked. I know exactly when anything's happened, and if it's not on that calendar, it's not happening. And employees, they're usually looking at their week, the day of, or the week of, have no strategy, no plan, and they're in a constant state of chaos. CEOs get to-do lists going, right? Employees are like, let me just handle it as it goes. One of the most amazing things I ever learned from a time management standpoint was when someone taught me to start off every day, write down 5 things you've got to freaking accomplish, and then get those damn things done.
Right.
Work until the day is over. But I think the biggest thing for most people is what they have not done is they haven't shifted and actually started becoming a CEO. They're still working at the level and pace and everything as they did when they worked for others, and they haven't shifted to be able to allow themselves to evolve.
I get all of that, and I am so strict with my calendar, and that has made all of the difference. I'm going to shout out to Kathleen Lawson right here, who's taught me time blocking, and CEO Power Hour on Friday mornings has been amazing. Here's a question for you, because you did mention you work with a lot of coaches. Many people in the Rise Above Noise community in particular are coaches of some sort. And what they do is not necessarily repeatable, right? So it's not like they can outsource their coaching abilities, right? So then it's a matter, I think, of how do they put the systems around themselves to then show up in their value, right? To show up in their business.
I'm going to challenge that it's not repeatable. Because here's the thing. I don't care what you coach. People only have 5, 6, 7 different problems in whatever you coach, right? There's not that many variables in there.
Okay.
And people need to understand, one-on-one coaching, unless you're charging ridiculous amounts of money per session, is not a scalable business model. Right. And every coach in the marketplace should and better be creating a community where all of their clients can hang out, like your Rise Above the Noise, Facebook group, right? Where everybody can hang out. And then you need to switch over to a mastermind collective training model, because what you're going to find is people are going to get a hell of a lot more out of it learning from their peers than learning from the guru. And most people, because they approach coaching like a guru model, get themselves in a lot of trouble because they won't allow their people to learn through osmosis of others. And I've just a firm believer that if you bring everybody together, your business could build so much faster and so much quicker, because the results will happen a hell of a lot quicker. Because I coach a lot of CEOs and a lot of business owners, and when one business owner hears another business owner struggling with the same crap that they're struggling with, it makes them feel a hell of a lot better that they're not the only person dealing with that problem or issue. Right. So I would challenge anybody who's doing one-on-one coaching. I don't care how many clients you are. I'd reach out to every one of your clients and say, hey, I want to try something. How about in 2 weeks on Thursday at noon, I'm going to bring all you guys together for a Zoom call just to have an open conversation, let you guys get to know each other, go into that conversation and say, okay, let me teach one little quick thing. And then I'd love to hear from you guys, what's your greatest win? And then I'd love to hear, what's the biggest thing you're struggling with now? And you do that in an hour's time with 3, 5, 10 people. And that's going to be the most powerful session your clients have ever gone through. And they're going to ask for more of it. and you want a scalable model, continue to do that, and then find a collective place to put everybody so they can, come together as a community, because everybody wants to be a part of something.
Brilliant. 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 So
Thanks for
good.
that.
So good. So much stuff. So I know that we're coming upon the top of the hour and we have so much more to cover. I wanted to just let people know that Success Champion Networks, you have a lot of opportunities for people to experience you and your classes that you give I think you have the public ones on Friday, right?
Yep. Actually, we have one tomorrow. So June 3rd, we have How to Sell Without Being a Greaseball.
Awesome. So I'm going to put that link in the group so that people see that one. And it's every first Friday of the month?
Yeah, first Friday of every month at 10 o'clock Central.
Okay, cool. And then you have a book coming out, a new book coming out. You have a current book and a new book.
Yeah, so the newest book coming out is called Fuck to Focused: How to Go from Growth Mode to Ultimate Scale. That'll be coming out here in June. I'll get you the link on that, Susan. So if people wanted to rise up to get an early copy and help be part of the launch team,
okay,
get the book for 99 cents. They can get that. And we got podcasts. We got all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, the podcast is really good. I also like that it's quick and always good takeaways.
For sure. Yeah. So growth mode is all about growing and scaling your business. And it's me and Kevin Snow, my COO, and we talk specifically about all the things that you're dealing with: sales, business development, mindset, operations, everything you need to do to actually grow and scale your business.
It's amazing. And I know that within the Success Champions networking, somebody said it this morning on the call, everything we need to grow is within that room. I mean, you always give us a great class, and then we have the breakouts, and there's somebody for everything within that group. And that's something that you can appreciate too. And I love that it's national. We're meeting people from all over the country, and now almost international, right? Did you open up?
Yeah, we got 3 in Canada. We're working on Belfast, Ireland, London, Spain, and potentially India.
Awesome. Good stuff. Is there anything else that you want to share with the people that will be watching this or listening?
Yeah, for me, I mean, the easiest way to catch up with me and everything that we're doing is if they'll text the word success to 817-318-6030. We'll send them a whole bunch of stuff with links and all kinds of free books and a bunch of other things to come along with that. But, here's the thing is nobody set out to build a crappy job for themselves. They set out to get to business freedom. So the only way to get to business freedom is to evolve into a CEO. And I'll leave you guys with this thought. Jim Rohn said this best on one of his tapes. And what he said was, if I hand you $10 million right now, the first thing you need to do is mentally become a millionaire. Because if you don't mentally transition to be a millionaire when you get that $10 million, you're going to blow it and you're going to lose it all. Just because he said it this way, he said, if you're an alcoholic and all of a sudden become a millionaire, doesn't mean you stop being an alcoholic. It means you drink more expensive crap. And it's the same thing in business. If you are in business and don't start thinking like a CEO, then you are going to end up right back where you started, creating a crappy job that you don't want to work. Evolve, get in the game, do the doing, and you'll be blown away. And when the new book comes out, we teach everything in there, how to go from growth to ultimately scaling your business.
Great stuff. Thank you, Donnie, so much for being my guest today. I look forward to seeing you next week in our meeting.
My honor. And guys, do me a favor for Susan. If you got any value out of this, any tips, tricks, anything of value, share this group out for her and get more people in here. She is pouring in you guys, giving you a ton of value. And every time you invite somebody to be a part of your world, it's like giving them a virtual hug. So help more people.
Thank you for that, Donnie. I appreciate that. We have a wonderful community, and the Rise Above Noise community is actually changing the way we do things, because it's really about showing up to make those transformations in the world. Our world needs it now more than ever for good people to be doing good work. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this week's Rise Above Noise Spotlight as much as I did. When you understand how to run your business as a CEO, it really does change everything. You want to figure out how to get those things, right? The things off your plate so that your business can scale and can grow. business owners, CEOs think, who can I get to do this versus how can I get this done? Now, I know that our Rise Above Noise community has been really great for the people who are interacting and finding the resources that they need. They're helping others in the community and they're supporting others in the community to find those resources and the support that they need to grow and scale. Our Rise Above Noise community really is revolutionizing how service professionals show up in our marketing and in our businesses so that we can go ahead and make a difference to the people that we are intended to make the difference for. Now, more than ever, our world needs our transformation creators to be successful in your ventures, to show up in service and make a real difference in our world. Thank you for joining us today, and I do look forward to bringing our next Rise Above Noise Spotlight.